Valley Conference, second oldest in the nation, oldest athletic conference west of the Mississippi, but according to its records, they have never had two men's basketball teams meet with league marks of at least 6-0. That changes on Saturday night. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz, glad to be with you, breaking down some of the best college basketball games each and every week here on CBSSports.com and all over the CBS Audience Network. And it's very surprising that the two teams are undefeated in conference. Drake, a school record 14 consecutive wins, trying to make the tournament for the first time in 37 years. Illinois State, they haven't been there in a decade. And for more on this huge Valley game, we bring in Clark Kellogg from Columbus. And Clark, Drake, under its first-year head coach, was picked to finish 9th in the league, but after their best conference starts in 69-70, Illinois State, middle to the bottom as well, but most consecutive wins in 25 years. How do you explain all the success that both these teams are having?
Well, first I'd like to say that's why I don't get involved in trying to pick these things preseason, okay? As a member of the CBSSports.com crew, I like to let some games be played before you try to figure this out. And even then, you don't know what you're doing half the time. But clearly these teams have played with tremendous confidence, gotten great contributions from everybody that plays. I like the fact that even though they aren't high-octane offensive teams, they are amongst the league leaders in the MVC in just about all of the offensive categories. And they have balanced attacks. Everybody is able to contribute. And they do a pretty solid job at the defensive end of the floor. I watched Illinois State pummel Creighton on the road. And they did it with excellent offensive balance, shooting the three, getting to the rim, as well as doing a nice job in their man-to-man defense.
And then they just pummeled Wichita State at home on Wednesday by 21. I mean, they one of the best defensive teams. But you mentioned balance for these two teams, and Drake's certainly showing it because they're playing their third game, or they're expected to play their third game on Saturday without leading scorer Josh Young. He's out with an ankle injury. But outside-inside, they've got a great duo who's certainly picking up the slack. Leonard Houston and last week's Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Week, Jonathan Cox.
Yeah, they do. And you know what, Jason? When you look at teams that lose key players or leading scorers or marquee guys, I think short term it's really a rallying cry for that team. Now, I don't know how long Drake can continue to play at the level they're playing at, but for another game with what's at stake right now this weekend, I think they'll be fine. Again, you mentioned Cox and Houston really ramping it up. They shoot the three. I just think that short term you can work through that, and other guys relish the opportunity to say, hey, our main guy's not here, but we're going to show that we've got his back. We're going to continue to play well and put together wins, and I think that's what Drake has been able to do.
Well, they're going to run into a very tough defense, though, this weekend because Illinois State, it does two things very well. You talked about pummeling Creighton and Wichita State. They're top 15 in the nation in field goal percentage defense, and they also do something that I know you and I both love. They get assists on more than 2/3 of their bucket.
Yeah.
But there's one guy that's been the recipient of a lot of that. Tell us about Osiris Eldridge.
Oh, I love his game. I mean, I watched him go scoreless in the half against Creighton and then turn it up big time in the second half. He can get to the rim. He seems to always be under control. He makes timely threes. And he's got a pace and a confidence to his game to where he's always going to be a factor. And then when you consider the balance, I mean, the big guy Dwyer can step out and knock down threes. I mean, he's close to 6'10". He steps out and knocks down threes. Little Boo Richardson penetrates and runs the attack. I mean, they've got a really well-balanced, efficient offensive team. I think this could be a terrific game.
It should be. Tim Jankovich got a lot of talent when he came from Kansas, and he's done a lot with it for Illinois State. All right, the winner most likely enters the top 25. Drake was 26th in votes this week. Illinois State is getting up there. The game is in Des Moines at Drake's campus.
Yeah.
Who do you like to win?
Right. I'm going to step out here and go with the road squad. I was so impressed when I had a chance to watch Illinois State play a good Creighton team on the road and lead that game start to finish. I know past results are not an indicator of future performance, but despite that disclaimer, I think the Redbirds are going to be able to get it done and stop that 14-game winning streak.
Yeah, it's certainly been impressive on both these squads, and whoever comes out victorious. The second time they meet this year should be a lot of fun as well. Clark Kellogg, thank you very much for all the knowledge, and have fun at Tennessee-Ohio State this weekend.
I'll look forward to it. Thanks, Jason. Good to be with you.
You too, sir. The two tip it off at 8:05 p.m. Eastern Saturday night. Should be one of the best games of the weekend. And for more on this game or any other, be sure to stay with CBSSports.com. Watch everything else all over the CBS Audience Network. With Clark Kellogg, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care.